4 squared is not 8, it is 16. 16 times 2 divided by 8 must be done first. This is 32. If I divide 32 by 8, then I'm going to come up with 4. Plus 5 would be 9. Alright, on this one you have to do 2 plus 3 first. Or not 2 plus 3, but 2 plus 1. And that will give you 3. Then you have to square that. You can take care of this ahead of time if you want. That's a 12. Then go back and square the 3. That's a 9. And you're going to have to multiply that 9 by 3 to come up with 27. 27 plus 12 is 39 minus 1 is 38. Last one. 3 minus 1 is 2. Square the 2 to get 4 and multiply by 4 to get 16. Of course, you still need your 6 and your 5. 6 plus 16 is 22. Plus 5 is 27. Pick a number from 1 to 5. The winning number today is 2. If you have all the problems finished on your homework and with all the steps shown, then bring it up. 17 and then 14 had homework, so 14 out of 17 is 82%. Here come the answers. Put a check mark beside it if it's right. We'll answer questions about the problems after we go through the answers. Number 1 is 15 hours, 44 minutes. 2 is 8 hours, 23 minutes. 3 is 15 hours. 4 is 12 hours, 48 minutes. 5 is 3 hours, 58 minutes. 6 is 1 hour, 36 minutes. 7 is 57 minutes. 8 is 4 hours, 10 minutes. 9 is 1 hour, 52 minutes. 10 is 36 minutes. The objective is the same as it was all week. Use units as a way to understand problems and to guide the solution of multi-step problems. Choose and interpret units consistently in the formulas. Choose and interpret the scale and the origin in graphs and data displays. We did not get to this last part. So our test will exclude that, but we'll do that next week. Knowledge targets. Calculate unit conversions and recognize units given or needed to solve a problem. Okay, we will review, and here's one of the types that will be on the test. What is the average length in feet and inches of the following boards? 3 feet, 2 inches, 6 feet, 1 inch, and 5 feet, 9 inches. What must I do first to find the average length of all of those boards? Yes? That's right, you have to convert them all to inches. That means you must multiply the feet, in this case 3, by 12, and then add 2. And for the next one, it's 6 times 12 plus 1. And the next one is 5 times 12 plus 9. Now simplify that, and you will come up with 38 for the first one, 73 for the second one, and 69 for the third one. What should I do once I have converted all of those into inches? Add them together, yes. So 38 and 73 is going to be 111. And then plus 69 is 180. Did you get 180? All right, so it's equal to 180. What should I do to the 180? Divide it by 3 because we have 3 boards. So 180 divided by 3 is 60. That's 60 inches. What should I do to that average length in inches? Divide by 12 so we can convert it to feet and inches. 60 divided by 12 is what? 5. There's nothing left over because 12 goes into 60 evenly. So it's 5 feet for the average length. What is the average length in feet and inches of the following boards? 8 feet, 9 inches. 5 feet, 10 inches. And 7 feet, 4 inches. Convert all of these measurements to inches. Remember, you multiply the feet by 12, then add the inches. So in this case, you'll have 105, 70, and 88. Did anybody have all 3 of those measurements to start? Okay, you're on the right track. Now we have to add them all together. So 105 and 70 is 175. 175 plus 88 is 263. Did you have 263? All right, so 263. And that's inches. We have to divide that by 3. And 263 divided by 3 is 87.6 repeating. What should I do with that? Round it to the nearest inch. So that's going to turn into be 88 inches. 88 inches is the average, but we must express it in feet and inches. 12 will go into 88 7 times without going over. What is 7 times 12? 84, yes. 7 times 12 is 84, and the difference between 88 and 84 is 4 inches. You guys can't come up until we're finished. There we go. So the final answer is 7 feet 4 inches. A bonus problem. Answer to the bonus was 17. This one will also be on the test tomorrow. John has a board that is 6 feet 10 inches, and Julie has a board that is 11 feet 5 inches. How much longer is Julie's board than John's board? What must I do to start this problem? Not add them. We don't add. Yeah, convert it to inches. Convert both of those measurements to inches. So multiply 6 by 12 and then add 10. That'll give you 82. And then 11 times 12 is 132 plus 5 is 137. Okay, they're both in inches. Now what do I do to them? Do we add them?
Subtract them.
We subtract them, yes. We subtract because you're trying to find out how much longer one is from the other one. And the direction here said in inches, but I'm looking for feet and inches. Okay, so these two numbers subtract 137 minus 82. What is that? It is 55. 55 inches is how much longer Julie's board is than John's. What do I do to the 55 inches? Divide by 12. So 55 divided by 12 comes out to be 4 point something. We know that 4 is feet. What is 12 times 4? 48. So we got to find the difference between 55 and 48. What is that? 7. So 4 feet, 7 inches. Bring this up here. John has a board that is 4 feet, 3 inches. And Julie has a board that is 1 foot, 9 inches. How much longer in feet and inches is John's board than Julie's board? Convert these to inches. So for this one, 4 times 12 is 48, plus 3 is 51. And for this one, 1 times 12 is 12, plus 9 is 21. We need to find the difference. So subtract 21 from 51 to get 30. We need to convert that. Remember, these are inches. So we're going to convert this into feet and inches. 12 goes into 30 twice. But there's some stuff left over. 2 times 12, if you multiply that by 12, you get 24. The difference between 30 and 24 is 6. 2 feet, 6 inches. The answer to the bonus is 5. This is a proportion problem like what we had yesterday. It takes Sarah 50 minutes to drive from her house to another one that is 64 miles away. In that case, how long would it take her to drive to Julie's house, which is 172 miles away? When you see a problem like this that has 2 units that are the same, such as miles here and miles there, and then you have one different unit outside of that, in this case minutes, chances are it's going to be a proportion problem. Not always, but most of the time. So to solve this, you set up a blank proportion. And we know that the 2 different units we have in the problem are minutes and miles. So if you choose to put minutes on the top, on the left side, you have to put them on the top on the right side. And then miles would be on the bottom. They must be straight across. In that first trip she took, it took her 50 minutes. Remember, minutes are on top. And she drove 64 miles on that trip. Now on the next trip she's going to take, how long would it take? Refers to minutes or miles? Minutes. Yeah, how long will it take is time. So we put an X there and the 172 miles on the bottom. Cross multiply to get 64X equals 50 times 172. 50 times 172 is 8,600. To solve for X, you divide 8,600 by 64. And that comes out to be 134.375. Now that's how long it would take, but we're not going to mess with a decimal, so we have to round that. If I round 134.375 to the nearest minute, then what is it? 134 is right. 134 minutes, and let's convert that to hours and minutes. How many times will 60 go into 134 without going over? Twice, yeah, so that's 2 hours. What is 2 times 1, or not 160, but what's 2 times 60? 120, yeah, so we need the difference between 120 and 134. What is that? 14, yes. So 2 hours and 14 minutes to make that trip. Try this and bring it up. Sarah is going to take a trip, or actually she already took one, that was 46 miles, and it took her 33 minutes to make that trip. The next trip she's going on is 125 miles. How long would it take her to make that trip? Set up a proportion like this, and you should have 46 miles, or you could have 46 miles over 33 minutes, or vice versa, as long as you're consistent left to right. In the next trip, it's 125 miles, and we don't know how many minutes. So in my version here, I have X on the bottom. That's because I put my minutes on the bottom. Cross multiply to get 46x equals 33 times 125. And that is going to be 4125. Divide 4125 by 46, and you will come up with an answer of 89.6. And I'm going to one decimal place. Round that to the nearest minute, and that's 90. 90 minutes is how long? Hour and a half. So it's 1 hour and 30 minutes. Or you divide it out and you'd have 30 minutes left over. So it's an hour and 30 minutes. Person 1 has 3 boards that are 2 feet, 2 inches long each. Person 2 has 6 boards that are 3 feet, 6 inches long. And person 3 has 4 boards that are 2 feet, 4 inches long. What would be the total length of those boards if they were all laid end to end? How long would they all be? What you have to do first is convert. There are shortcuts you can take, but I'm not going to show you those because it may throw some off if I teach 2 different ways. And I think we went through that the first time we did it. But what you ought to do is change each of these to inches. If you change each of those to inches, the first one, you're going to have 2 feet 2 inches, which is 26 inches. That's 2 times 12 plus 2. And for the second one, 3 times 12 is 36, plus 6 is 42. And then the last one, 2 times 12 is 24, plus 4 is 28. Now, you have to multiply each of those, and this will be a common mistake if you miss this one. You got to multiply each of those by the number of boards there are of that length. So on the first one there are 3 of them, 6 of the second one, and 4 of the third one. When you multiply that out, 26 times 3 is going to be 78. 42 times 6, let's see, 2 42s is 84. And I'll just multiply it out. 42 times 6, 252. And then 28 times 4 would be 112. Once you get the total length in inches of all of those boards of each person figured out, then you have to add them all together. 78 and 252 plus 112 would be 442. That's the total length in inches, and of course we have to change it to feet and inches next. So 442 divided by 60. How many times will 60 go into 442 without going over? 36? 7 times, right. 7 times without going over. Of course you're going to have some stuff left over. So what is 7 times 60? 420. What's the difference between 420 and 442? 22. So it's... Well, needless to say, I divided by 60 instead of 12. I wondered why we had 22 inches left over. It's the third blooper of the day for me. So we'll forget what I just wrote there. If you divide 442 by 12, you come up with what?
36.
So Josh was right to begin with. He was right. 36 feet. And what is 12 times, not 12 times 36, yes, what is that? 432?
Yeah.
All right, so what's the difference between 432 and 442? All right, it's 10 inches. So we'll have 36 feet, 10 inches. That kind of became a mess there after I had to scratch that out, but we managed to shove it all in. 36 feet, 10 inches. Where he can read 100 words per minute, and the book he is reading is 200 pages long, and each page has 75 words. You have words and words per page, words per minute and words per page. In your opening division problem, does words per minute or words go on top? Words, yes, and words per minute on the bottom. And when you get that number, after you divide it out, do not round it. Leave it in your calculator and multiply it by the number of pages. When you do that, you get the total amount of time he's going to have to spend in minutes. That is when you round. Always round before you go on to converting to hours and minutes. We're almost out of time, so I had to do that quickly. And let's see, what else do we have here? We did everything. So you have a test tomorrow. 20 problems. Could be anything that we've gone over. 1 through 20 are 50 points each, and the 5 extra credit are 25 points each. You do not get unlimited time to take the test. You must complete it during the period unless you have other arrangements.